Boom. All right, round two. This is round two. We say, y'all can say what up, guys. Say what up to YouTube, guys, from Twitch. Say what up to YouTube. We're recording right now for YouTube. Thanks for the 100 bits. AK Money. Thanks for the 100 bits. So you can say hi, YouTube, and all that stuff in the chat. Because this one is for YouTube, right? This is round two of the tournament that I just played in. I had 6.5 out of 9. Your boy went off. I went off. This was a crazy game because literally I'm gonna tell y'all this was strange. Like out of the first 3 moves, first 3 moves was just like, well, we about to just be doing this thing, huh? So here we go. I'm playing Young Brew. What it do? Okay, Young Brew. What it do? The man, the young fella got a grown man game. Okay, so he's a young fella with a grown man game. So we already know he's in the chat too, Burrington Hardaway. So we played in January, and I remember I played with the black pieces, so I got white this time, and I play E4, right? So okay, and then I play E4. So okay, he goes C5, knight F3. After knight F3, E6, right? So he goes E6. And this is like, you know, you always do a little bit of prep on your opponent, right? You always do a little bit of prep on every opponent. So I'm looking and I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I've seen this in the files, in the database. I've seen this. So E6 happens. D4 takes. And then here we go. He goes A6. And I'm like, wow. Wow. At this point, I was already out of book, bro. Because I did not actually prep this really like at all, because I don't get this that much, and I didn't see this in his files. So after the game, I'm like, bro, do you ever play this? Is this new? He like, yeah, I play this all the time. I'm like, what? I didn't even see this in your files. Like, what are you talking about? So maybe on his training accounts, but is this like, I didn't see this. This is called Con Sicilian. Con, K-A-N Sicilian. This is when I didn't study that much. Because I'm like, what the heck, bro? Nobody play this, bro. Nobody plays this. So I'm sitting here like, well, we out of book on move 4. Well, let's just do this thing. So I'm like, bet. I'm just going to develop my pieces. Knight C3, he goes Queen C7, right? And then I go Bishop to E3. He says your dad plays this, huh? A6 is strange, yeah. And it happens. And the problem here is that after this Bishop E3 move right here, is after Bishop E3, there is a problem with, and I think I looked at this in the theory later on. I know what to do now. I'll never do this, what I've done here in this game. And it tells you, like, a lot of times. I remember as a kid, I used to play I would just develop my pieces against the Sicilian. So in a way, against the Sicilian, I'm just developing my pieces. I feel like I'm just doing like I did as a kid. But here, the problem is Bishop to B4. And here, I knew that he could play this. And I was just kind of going to play like Queen D2 and then Bishop D3. I was just going to defend everything in castle. But the problem here, for future reference, people don't know this, is after Bishop B4, when you do anything to defend after Knight F6 and Pawn D5, Black just has a better game. It's just still equal, but Black's definitely for favorite, right? And I was like, I didn't know this, obviously. Like, come on. Got caught off guard, obviously, because I'm like, I don't even know what this Sicilian is. I'm like, I've studied all his Sicilians except this weird one. So Bishop E3, he goes Knight F6, right? After Knight F6, I go Bishop D3. Again, I'm just going to develop my pieces, because I don't know what's really going on yet. He goes B5, right? After B5, and then after the B5 move, I castle and I get out the way. Because I'm like, I told you, I'm just going to develop my pieces. And he goes B4, right? After the B4 move, he hits the knight, right? And instead of going Knight E2 or Knight A4, I just went back to B1 because I'm going to reroute to D2. He goes Bishop B7, I go Knight D2. And right here, the title of the video, actually, is What Would Nezhmetdinov Do? What would Nezhmetdinov do? In fact, that's the thing that's a question I ask myself all the time. Also, shout out to Test Name Ignore for the 5-piece in the chat. Make sure y'all get some hype for that. Come on now, that man just gifted 5 subs. Get some hype. Thank you, Test Name Ignore. Thank you for that 5-piece contributing to the hype train. Thank you. Love you, bro. Thank you so much. So, you know, guys, the name of this video is called What Would Nezhmetdinov Do, right? So if you guys are not familiar with Rashid Nezhmetdinov, he was like training with Tao, or in a way like Tao's trainer. And I looked at a lot of his games and stuff, and I realized how and why Tao plays the way he plays is because Nezhmetdinov. So when I'm looking at this stuff, right, I really started to ask myself, and this game right here, in fact, the whole tournament theme is Nezhmetdinov and Tao like play. Every game I played this tournament was Nezhmetdinov Tao like. So shout out to my grandfather Tao one time. one time to my grandfather down. And of course, Nezhmetdinov, the great uncle. All right, yo, test name ignore. Thanks for the love, bro. Thanks for the 10 piece. That's what's up. 10 months supporting the channel. Thank you so much for your love and support. Big fella, 10 months. Let's get it. Let's get it. Thanks for the follow, guys. Tried and Jan. E5. So pawn E5 actually is a move in certain lines here. He plays D5 though. He plays D5, and this is the position we get. I take and bishop takes. And now in this position, what do you play, chat? What do you play in this position? White to move. And Brew, did you see this actually? Brewington, this whole line? Because you took it and you did Brewington in the chat, by the way. Yeah, did you see? Did you expect that move? This move actually. Test name ignore. We say C4. We play C4. E5. C. And Rosen. That's nice. I gotta get my my sub game up over there. B3. Oh wow. 72 Rosen trophies. Nice. Rook E1. F4 A3. F4 A3, Rook E1. These are all great moves, guys. I actually played this move right here, C4. C4, which is a cool move. It's hitting the bishop. It's also allowing my queen to get out in some cases. Mr. Kente, what up, NT? What's good? Yeah, you saw this? Okay, so C4, and then you see Rook C1 too as well? Rook C1, I'm sure you was probably assuming I was going to play Rook C1. And I played Rook C1, guys. He opposanted, and then I played Rook to C1, right? Because I wanted to get some play on the queen, because I'm a fan of development. And here's like an attacking player, like, one-on-one. I'm giving you a secret gem into the Jedi school of the attacking player, right? You're about to learn. Okay, if you're an attacking player and you like to fight, right, you need development very, very fast. You need to move quickly and develop your pieces. So I got castle, I got the pieces out, I'm trying to open the game. So Rook C1, I'm just trying to stay open. So Rook C1, he goes knight D7, he develops. I take on C3, I hit the queen with tempo, and then he hits me with queen B8, which is a nice move. Queen B8 is nice because it provokes me to do something about this pawn. It provokes me to do something about this pawn right now. Right? Because I'm like, there's lines where he can really snap this pawn off, and I'm just kind of down a pawn. Right? I'm not really trying to do that. So I actually, after thinking, I just chose, you know what, whatever, B3. I'm just going to play a game. We're just going to play a game here. B3. And then he goes queen B2, and he hits my G2 pawn. G2 is hanging. Now, of course, I ask myself every move in every game if I can, what would Nezhmetdinov do in this position? White to move. What do you do, chat? It is white to move. Bishop G2 is imminent. He's going to take this pawn. What do you do about it? Queen C2. Endless spirits. Knight F3. Which knight? Oh, it's F3. Which knight? Knight D2 to F3. Okay, we got knight F3. Bishop E2, D2. Okay, knight F3, F3, F3. Okay, F3s. A lot of F3s. Knight D2 to F3, resign. Gross. Knight D F3. Very nice, chat. Very nice. Very good, very good. Well, in fact, the move here is the best defense is offense, so we play Queen C2. Yeah. Yeah. Queen C2. Best defense is offense. So if bishop takes G2, let's just look at a sample line. Rook to C7 hits the queen. So there's problems here with his queen. If he moves the queen off of the bishop, then we take the bishop, right? So of course, queen to D5 will be a move here to try to defend it. But there's Rook C8 back here. And I didn't see this all the way through yet. But I was like, is king on E7? I don't know what's happening yet. But I know I'm going to be fine. Like, this has to be winning. And the engine says it's like +6 here. Best move is F3. I probably wouldn't have played this. I'm going to be honest with you. I know I wouldn't have played F3 here. I know for a fact I wouldn't have played F3. But I think the idea is to put the knight to C6. And I was saying that. I actually would have played Rook C1 because my idea was to go knight C6. But they want F3 in that position. That's absolutely crazy. So Brewington, being as strong as he is, doesn't go for none of that. You know? Yo, Chess Brainiac, let's get it. Yeah, it's lit through here. Yeah, it's turned up through here. Chess Brainiac with the raid. We have Rosen with the raid. And we covering round 2 right now. Okay, so I'm playing Brewington. And this is the position. Here we go. What's good, Big Canty? What up? Big Chess Brainiac. What up, big fella? So we're looking at round 2. I'm playing Brewington, right? So after Queen C2, right? Brewington's a national master. Very strong. Should be FM. Can they go from Bishop B4 after Queen C2? After Queen C2, Bishop B4, where I have Rook C7 again. and which could, I mean, could be played, but I mean, like, you have a rook here, you know, right, on c7, I might be doubling. I mean, it's just kind of annoying, right? And you have to step off anyway. He didn't really allow that. So what Brute was, he just played bishop d6 to stop it. He just stopped it. Alex, thanks for the follow. What up, Curious Chimpanzee? Thunder, thanks for the follow too. So he stops it. He stops it, and then I go knight to c4. Because I was like, well, shoot it, you're going to give me the piece, right? You know, or I'm taking this. He goes bishop to c7. And then again, I sit here and I go into the think tank. I go into the think tank here and I ask myself, what would Nezhmetdinov do? Okay, now in this position, I want you to do the same thing. Ask yourself, what would Nezhmetdinov do? Or what would Tao do? In fact, black is threatening bishop takes g2 right now. It's white to move, chat. What do you do? What do you do? Bishop takes g2 is coming. This man is about to take this pawn. He's going to take this pawn. Knight b6. Where is that? Knight b. I mean, wow. Shoot. I mean, okay. All right. Hey, look, I commend the sacrifice. Knight b6. Out here. Out here for real. Okay. What else we got? f4. Okay, f4. I like that. You're defending. Knight d2 from Endless Spirit. Knight d2. Nice move. Rish, thanks for the follow. f3. Nice. Knight b2. Okay. This is interesting. Simply f2. Okay. Simply f2. Okay. He says, simply keep the pawn on the same square that it is. Nice. Make large. Very nice. Wait, no. Thanks for the follow. Okay. f3. Oh, okay. Okay. Got it. f3. F3. He says F3. Here it is, guys. So I asked myself, what would Nezhmetdinov do? And remember, Nezhmetdinov and Tao, shout out to my grandfather Tao, right? I always say grandfather Tao. My type of chess, my style is always like that. It's always going to be like that. It ain't going to never change. Sack first, think later, right? Here's the move. The man played this move right here. Bishop C1. Oh, my goodness. Here we go. Here it is. So I came out into the think tank, right? And I was like, okay, bishop to C1. And this is, by the way, this was engine move number 3 on the engine. Engine move number 3 on the engine. What? Bruh. Okay, engine move number 3. So it was that, right? This is what they wanted, bishop c1, right? With the idea of, my idea here is to keep the bishop, keep the king stuck here, and keep this here, because bishop takes g2 comes with tactics. Watch this. You definitely got to be on your calculating ability here. Now, of course, Brewington, what's up, Hans? What's good? Glad you're grinding, GM, eventually. What's up, Big Hans in the chat? Don't do it to him. Don't do it to him. Don't do it to him. By the way, shout out to Hans. In fact, in what round was that? I think that was round 4, actually. Round 4, I had a Hans type game. The Hans game, remember we put that on the YouTube channel where Hans beat the IM down a queen with the rook and knight and the pawns in the end game? Yeah, we put that on the YouTube. Yeah. Yeah, but I had the same type of game in round 4, actually. And I thought about that. I was like, see, I could do it too. If Hans could do it, I could do it too. Bruh. And I pulled that game out. People are going to stop sliding out shit. That's right, bro. Come on, Hans. Come on, Hans. Shout out to Hans in the chat out here grinding. Boy, that's a perfect example. Like 2600 out here. Nasty grinding. All right, so look, I go bishop to c1 in this position, right? And literally, Brew goes for it. I was hoping he does. I didn't know what was going to happen. But he did it. Bishop takes g2. Boom, he did that. There it is. Bishop takes g2. And what do you do? After bishop takes g2, guys, right? Knight e3. So I go knight e3. Hold on. I'm sacking a whole exchange here and a pawn. Think about this. Think about this, Canty. You sacking a whole exchange and a pawn at the same time. Curious Chimpanzee, thanks for gifting the sub over to my man's Hans one time. Let's go, right? So he takes on f1. Right now, after bishop takes f1, what do you do, chat? What do you do now? What do you do now? Right? He takes the rook. Right now, you down a rook and a pawn. You're down a rook and a pawn right now. What do you do? If you start playing Jobava, you'll be GM. You know, it's funny, Hans. I played Jobava already over the board. You know, I played Jobava. First time over the board in the Charlotte tournament, I had 2 draws and a win. I beat IM. But it was a grinder game. And you know how I don't like grinding that long, bro. It was such a grind. It was on the C5 line, but I beat an IM first time. Playing Jobava OTB. Bishop takes f1 or rook takes c7. Bishop takes f1, rook takes c7. All right, all right. Rook takes c7s. Man, look at y'all. Rook takes c7s. That's so beautiful, right? That's so beautiful. Oh, excuse me. Excuse me, did you left something. That's not a move. Garbo. Bishop takes d3, right? And then, yes, GG. Start a new game, right? Ouch. He took all of that from you. And then you're done. And you're done. And you're done. Yikes. And just when you thought you was trying to be clever, you blocking with your whole face. Yikes. Right. So it doesn't work. So after bishop takes g2, right? All right. Knight e3, he takes on f1, and I take back. If you take stock right now, I'm down a rook and a pawn. I'm down an exchange. Excuse me. I'm done an exchange and a pawn. Engine says that it's equal. In fact, Engine says it's plus 1.3. And I'm down an exchange and a pawn. Well, let's see why. Right? I asked myself again, what would Nezhmetdinov do? Right? My favorite player, Nezhmetdinov and Tao, right? Right, we're going to keep this king in the center. My idea here is, first off, I have compensation with bishop g2. Not only that, I'm hitting the bishop on c7 right now. Rook takes c7 is a move. So he deals with that. Why? With the tempo. Boom. Bishop a5 hitting the rook, right? Do the viewers know about the legend? I don't think they know. You got to educate them. I don't think they know, bro. Nezhmetdinov is a legend. In fact, they know about Grandfather Tao, because my grandfather is Tao, right? We all know that here at the channel, that my grandfather is Tao. In fact, Nezhmetdinov used to train Tao. Before Tao was Tao, it was Nezhmetdinov. We telling y'all that man a legend, okay? So that's why I say, what would Nezhmetdinov do? After bishop a5, hitting my rook, what do you do now, right? What do you do now? Nezhmetdinov Rasalimo attack? I know that much. That's right, though. Long story short, huge talent, passed away tragically. Could have been one of the greats. Big facts. Hans is speaking 100% factuals there. Yes, I mean, that man, Nezhmetdinov, definitely changed the way that I was thinking about things on top of what I was doing about Tao. So I go bishop g2 first just to keep this here eyeballed. And then he goes queen b6. Now, what do you do in this position, chat? I actually made a weird move here that kind of just gives the advantage away. I mean, it really does, but it's not like completely, it just goes to equal. Right now, the moves given are everything's like plus 1.9, plus 1.5, and an equal move. It's white to move here, right? Again, I'm asking myself, what would Nezhmetdinov do? What would Nezhmetdinov do, right? Knight to c4, take the rook, b4, okay? Rook c5, rook c8, bishop takes a8, obvious, knight takes c4, e4. Okay, so the problem with rook c8 is after rook c8, rook takes, and queen d8, and he just blocks. That was his whole intention with queen b6, not only hitting the knight, but he's going to block in this case. So rook c8 doesn't work at all, in fact. Right, bishop takes a8, I mean, he's just going to castle and be gone. And what did I do all that for? For him to castle? No, I didn't do all of that to castle. Hence, the move right here. Y'all ready for this? Bishop a3. Oh, my goodness. Woo! It's getting hot in here right now. Yes, it is. Absolutely. I am still down an exchange and a whole pawn right now. I'm down an exchange and I'm down a pawn. Now, the engine didn't like this that much because they said it goes to equal. It goes to equal, but I wanted to practically keep his king in the center forever. I know the knight is hanging. Yes, the knight is hanging because I calculated this. He takes the knight, so boom, now I'm down a whole knight. He said, this is too crazy for me. Yeah, this is definitely something your grandfather would do. Correct, right? Shout out to Grandfather Tao one time, right? We miss you, bro. You know, for real, like this is what I do, right? Grandfather Tao and Nezhmetdinov, right? Definitely influenced this game 100%. And in fact, I mean, all of every game you guys look at is a reflection of the studies I have been doing with my late grandfather. Okay, and Nezhmetdinov. Rook, queen takes d4, rook to d3, right? I hit the queen, and then what he's supposed to do here, in fact, he even mentioned this too. He said queen a7. And I looked at queen a7, and actually I probably would have messed this up. Because after queen a7 is what he's supposed to play, I actually was going to play knight f5. I mean, it's a crazy game. I was going to play knight f5, and I thought he was mated. For some reason, I thought he was just mated. But the engine gives this line here. I was going to play rook e3, and knight e4 is getting mated. This is what I saw. He was going to do this. And I was like, bro, I'm about to mate him. Like, this is going to be the greatest game I've ever played in my life, right? Like, you know, that's how I was feeling here. But then he could actually do this, believe it or not. And he can take, and this is equal-ish. Like, bro, what? How is this equal? Like, What is going on right now? And the engine gives this as like equal. Then after you let it think for a little bit, it gives it better for black after they go rook a7. And rook a7 apparently is saving. And this line ends better for black. Unbelievable. What is this? What are those? I don't know what is going on right now. You know what I'm saying? Like this is an absolute bananas game. Absolute bananas game here. Right? So he didn't go queen a7. In fact, he went for the human move, which was checking, right? Which was checking. That's what he went for, the human move. He checked, which is human. And I calculated this because I thought he was getting mated in a queen a7 line. So I go rook d1. I go rook d1. He goes queen c3. And then after all the chaos happens, I end up in this position. Oh my goodness. After all of that, I'm like, wow, it worked out. It worked out. Somehow, some way, it worked out. Now I got two bishops. His king's in the center, and and I got two pawns here, and this is convertible, right? But I have some precision to do, which wasn't the greatest. I was supposed to play bishop b7. I played rook c1, and he can't castle. But in here, in fact, let me actually just fast forward some. This was more draw-ish, but I had the two bishops. And having the two bishops is hard to play against. Here, this is, in fact, right here is zeros. Believe it or not. Zeros right here. This is zeros. Equal material. But I just have the activity and the bishops, right? And believe it, like, how is the zeros, right? It's so hard to play this as a human. Zeros. Even though, you know, and he played a good job as much as he could, bro. But this is so hard. It's zeros, bro. I'm looking at it right now. It's unbelievable that this is zeros right here, but anyone would think I have two passed pawns and two bishops. Are you kidding me? Bruh. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy, but it's zeros. Mickey Dead Guys, thanks for the 17 months, my guy. Good to see you, bro. Dang, 17 months with Prime. Mickey Dead Guy's been here for real. Easy white win for human. Yeah, it's just crazy. Let's flip the board, right? Like, I mean, you can stop these, but it's just hard to, like, you know they're coming and you got the two bishops. It's really hard to play this, but apparently it's equal. It's equal. He plays 98. And here, guys, let's see if you can find the move that really kind of helped me get the ball rolling here. If it wasn't for this, this probably could have been very close to drawish. But something here, if I didn't have this move, I don't know, you know, what would have really happened. White to move here. Where do we go? Those four connected for black. Correct, but they are connected, but they are not as much. If they get rolling, I am going to be a little scared, though. I am going to be a little scared if they get rolling. Why not 94? 94 was a good move, actually. I forgot. I'm not sure. I think he didn't probably like the pawn move, which is understandable. That could push, but it does weaken it. B4. Okay, pawn B4. And I actually played A4. A4 was the move here because if rook takes B3, we have this cool tactic of bishop B5 check. Right. And then after the king moves, or king D8 to stay around the knight, you can check, and I pick up a piece here. Pick up a piece. So it's pretty nice. There you go. Yeah, you got it, bro. Brewington, that's the kid. Yeah, the very strong kid. Bravo, Bo. Thanks for the 3 months. Thanks for the prime, too. Twitch primers in the chat. Let's go. So I played A4, though. I play A4. He goes knight D6, and I go B4. So the pass pawns are starting to roll a little bit. He goes knight E4. I check, and then I'm able to pick up an exchange here. I'm able to pick up the exchange. And then I go on to finish the game out. We just fast forward, really, because there's a lot of moves after this. A lot of moves. And the game ended here with B5 after B5. The B5 king takes, you queen, and then rook B7, and you pick up the piece. All right, you pick up the piece like this. Takes, rook B7. So, but B5, and he resigned here. But the beginning, this was a crazy game, right? Exactly. This was a crazy game. This was an absolute crazy game. Yeah, we kind of reviewed it too, Cuddly. But he's here, though. We reviewed it and went over it. So, here, at the opening, I was already out of book, like, out of book. Don't play it this way. So if you play this by black, right, then you need to know the plan is bishop b4 quickly, knight f6, and d5. I won't be playing. You'll never see me play it this way again. But he didn't play this way. He played knight f6 and bishop d3 and allowed me to get some other things off, but just for future reference. From the white side, this is going to be a bad setup if you're playing against the Khan. And from the black side, if you're playing this, bishop b4 and an easy setup. Bishop b4, knight f6, and d5, and really just pressure this knight and having a great day. So, but he didn't do that. He did get b5, b4 in. I got the knight around, and then I was kept asking myself, what would Nezhmetdinov do, right? What would Nezhmetdinov do? This was a critical moment. I think this is where it really got crazy. And Tao, like, after bishop d6, I mean, not only does he have pressure on me, but I got a little bit of pressure on here. Luckily, I was able to hit the tactic off knight c4, hit the bishop. He backed up, tuck and roll, right, stopping knight a5 ideas. Also keeping some eye here, stopping knight d6 as well. And then I go bishop to c1. Crazy move. I mean, a wild move here. Allowing bishop takes g2 and not even caring about it going a bit knight e3. Right, I sack a whole exchange and a pawn. I go bishop g2. I sack a whole knight now. And then we get this position here. And we go on to win the game. So crazy game. Shout out to Big Brew. What it do? The young fella. Very extremely strong, as y'all already know, right? This was a crazy game. So this was round 2. And of course, we're going to cover round 3 tomorrow. Make sure you guys are there for that. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the YouTube channel as well. And we see you on the next video.